Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the third meeting of the 2025 Baltimore County Redistricting Commission. This meeting is the first after our initial public hearing. And we're going to start by hitting some agenda items. Well, actually, first we need to address some very unfortunate news. Did you want to?
So we wanted to let the other commission members and the public know that unfortunately, excuse me, Miss Rotunda Tate Duffy, who is the District 1 nominee, is unable to continue. She had a medical issue, and that is going to make it so she cannot continue as a commission member. Very unfortunate, and we all send our well wishes to her in her recovery. Fortunately, we do have Mr. Young, Councilman Young, has nominated a successor appointee, and actually she is here this evening, so we can kind of continue this process. To my left is Dr. Michelle Davis, who I think some of you have already met. Ms. Davis has been nominated by Councilman Young. She will be voted on Monday, March the 3rd by the council for her confirmation. We expect that to go extremely smoothly. Sorry. And so welcome, hopefully, to the commission. Dr. Davis, she sent us her resume. She has a very impressive background. We know she'll be a great asset to the commission and really contribute, which is obviously what we need in this situation of redistricting. So with that said, I'll turn it back over to Adam, and we can move forward. Thank you.
So the first item on the agenda is approval of the February 10th meeting minutes. Everyone was sent a draft the day, I believe it was the day after the meeting. And you have a physical copy in front of you. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes? Yeah,
Okay, John Dolina here. I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes from the February 10th meeting are approved. They will go up on the commission's website tomorrow morning. The second item is election of the commission chair. This, like I said, this is the third meeting, so I think you all have gotten a chance to know each other a little bit. I will open the floor for any discussion or possible nominations.
Adam, it's Edward Kramer. I put an email out to everyone in regards to one of the persons on the commission here, Eric Rockwell. I really believe Eric could do an excellent job chairing the committee, and I'd like to nominate him for the position.
So move.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Let me call the roll. The District 1 slot is currently vacant. District 2, Lisa Belcastro.
Yes.
Eric Rockwell.
I'll abstain.
Cordell Grant.
No.
John Dolina.
Yes.
Al Harris.
Yes.
Ed Kramer.
Yes.
With 4 yeses, the motion is approved. Eric Rockwell is now the chair of the Baltimore County Redistricting Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
One benefit is that you'll hear a lot less of my voice and more of Eric's voice. After tonight, yes. So next, we're going to move right on to the meat of tonight's meeting and presentation. we're going to introduce the staff members from the GIS office. These are the folks who are going to make actually drawing these district boundaries possible. So why don't you guys come on up? Yeah. So first is Rob Livermore. He's the chief of the GIS office, GIS database and business intelligence. The GIS office is part of our IT office. He's a 28-year veteran of the IT office. He holds a bachelor's degree from UMBC and is a lifelong county resident. And Rob, I'll leave it up to you. Would you like me to introduce your team, or would you like to? Okay. Next is Christine Hensler. She is the GIS specialist lead for the GIS team. She has 7 years of service with the office, and most importantly for us, she provided the support for the 2022 commission. So she is well-versed in the needs of the redistricting commission. She holds a bachelor's from UMBC and a master's from Salisbury. She is also a lifelong county resident. Next is Emily Barrett. She is a GIS specialist 3. She has 3 years of service with the GIS unit, and she holds a bachelor's from Salisbury University. We've got 2 members who are not here in person, but who are also lending support. Steve Foley, who is the GIS administrator. He has 21 years of service to the GIS unit, and he provides a lot of the background work. Harrison DeFord is actually, he's not with the GIS team, but he is kind of on loan from BC Stat, which is a similar type of office within IT. And Harrison has 2 years service with the county and holds a bachelor's from UMBC. So in terms of who you will be working with face-to-face, most often that's going to be Rob, Christine, and Emily. We've worked a lot with all 3 of you, so I mean, I think you guys are going to be in great hands. And last, I want to introduce the folks from Esri. As a reminder, Esri is the publisher of our redistricting application. They are a 30-plus year national leader in GIS systems and technology. Today, we have for our presentation Scott Ferguson, who is the Technical Program Manager in the Professional Services Division, and Mackenzie O'Brien, who is a Technical Consultant. So at this point, I think I'm going to turn it over to them to do a demonstration.
Hi, folks. Nice to meet everyone. Mackenzie, if you'd like to get started. Rob, would you just like us to go down the bulleted list of items? Is that how you'd like to proceed?
Quick question, who is the presenter?
That would be me.
Yeah, Scott, if you want to go over an overview of what the Esri redistricting solution is and go through the bulleted list of items showing how that can be used to support the redistricting that the county is undertaking at this time.
Okay. So you want me to just jump in with the complete overview, Scott, and then we can address the bullet points as they come up, maybe?
Yeah, that's fine, Mackenzie.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Great. Turn off my video since it seems like there might be some bandwidth issues. One moment. All right. Hopefully y'all can see my screen. It has a purplish background and it says Esri Redistricting Baltimore on it.
Looks good. Mackenzie.
Okay, great. Just wanted to
We
make
can
sure
see
it was coming up properly. All right, so this is sort of the default application sort of experience when a user would come into the redistricting application. You'll see the sign-in button. All of this up here can be customized. As you can see, we've done a little bit for this demo here. Users can also, if you want to open this up to the public, create their own account so they can come in and make plans of their own or see plans that others have created and want others to review. I'll just go ahead and sign in really quickly. And so in this overview plan page, you can see I can go ahead and open previously created plans. I can also view any plans that have been shared with me, which I don't have any currently, but I can also go ahead and create a whole new plan from scratch. I can adjust the district caption. So if I want to name it something other than district, I can adjust it accordingly, and include the number of districts I want, adjust the maximum deviation, which is essentially the percentage that each district is allowed to vary in population from one another. And I can choose the census year data. So I can choose 2000, 2010, or 2020. I'll then go ahead and go down to counties and select Baltimore County. And from here, I can either use county, tract, block, group, and block as the basis geographies, so sort of the basis geographies that I'll be building my districts from. Or instead of tracts and block groups, I can choose to use VTDs or voter tabulation districts instead. Over here, I can adjust the colors of my districts. So these two are a little bit too close to each other. So I'll just go ahead and change that to an orange, I suppose. I can also adjust the district name if I'd like. Over here, I have a number of different demographics that I can display. These are all coming directly from the census, so they're all from an authoritative source. It's just different preferences of how you prefer to see the data presented. We'll go ahead and include the percentage for the alternative category. I can also come in and create an example variable, or excuse me, a custom variable. So for instance, in this one, I want to see the percentage of the population that is 18 or older. Go ahead and hit done, and you'll see once I do, a map of Baltimore County pops up in the background, and then this table down here starts to show some of the population characteristics. So we've tried to organize this in sort of the structure of Microsoft applications, where you've got this tabbed approach across the top. So essentially the goal is that as long as someone works from left to the right, they should be able to create a complete and legitimate plan that adheres to any rules and regulations. So under this first tab, we have the File tab, where someone can go ahead and create a new plan if they'd like to, open previously created plans, save a plan, save a copy of their plan, create an archive, which is essentially a zip folder that you can choose to include any of these pieces of content in. You can also choose to email the archive to yourself or to your colleagues if you would like. If you would like to save a copy of your plan to your computer, you can go ahead and do that using this button. And then if you would like to reopen that, you can just use this open local button to do so. You can go ahead and create a printed copy of the plan, or create a plan book, which is essentially the overview of all of the districts. And then it has an additional page that gives an overview of each individual district on a more detailed scale as well. If you have existing boundaries that you'd like to bring in, you can do so using this import button. So you can bring it in either using a fixed text format or a shapefile. And then if you'd like to export your plan to another format, you can do so using this export button. Under the Learn tab, this is where someone can come and access a sort of quick overview of how to access or utilize the application, I should say. So you can go ahead and click on any of these links and read through a quick description to learn more about the application and how to properly utilize it. Under the View tab, I can go ahead and adjust the number of districts. So if I want to bump it up to 3, I can do that. And as you see, as I bump up the number of districts, the target deviation adjusts so that this is in accordance with the number of districts and the population. So as I bump it back down to 2, the number of people I need in each district goes up. I can also click this button to show target value. So this is essentially how many people I'm aiming to have in each district if they're perfectly balanced. Over here, we have some display options. So I can choose to use just one color for all of the districts, just display the district lines or bring back the fill. If I lock a district, essentially that makes it so that I can't change any geography assignments. I can choose to display those or not. Display the names of districts, their short names, or show a district field, which is essentially a demographic field of your choosing. We also have deviation coloring. So this essentially gives you a quick visual cue as to whether a district is above or below the maximum deviation that you set when you created the plan. If you want to swap districts, like let's say District 2 is on top and District 1 is on bottom, and you need to swap it so that it's reversed, you can do that here. Under Modify Districts, you can come in and change the name of the district or adjust the target values to be based off of another field if you would like. If you would like to merge 2 districts into one, you can utilize this Join Districts function. If you would like to create a plan based only off of a portion of the county, you can do that using this View Regional button. And then under this District Window tab, this will pop out the table at the bottom into its own separate window, which is super helpful when you're working on a 2-screen environment. And now to the actual creation of the districts. So you can come in and adjust the demographic variables if you would like. So if you want to use the sum instead of the percent, you can just go ahead, check those on. And then from here, I can go ahead and begin creating my districts. So I can use the point tool, the rectangle tool, polygon tool, or the line tool. As I zoom in and out, different geographic scales will begin to appear. So the further out I'm zoomed, it will just show the county outline. Zoom in a little more, it'll show the tract, and then zoom in even further, the block group, and then finally, what we're at right now, the smallest form of geography, the block. And you can tell where you're at because each of these little red bars represents county, tract, and block group, and then the end of the scale just represents block. I can also go ahead and add an entire location to a single district if I'd like. So let's see, go Owings Mills, can go ahead and show that on the map. And then I can go ahead and assign all of the geographies that are within that city to my district. If there are other layers that you'd be interested in bringing in, maybe, for example, you would like to bring in high school districts. I know maybe that's not the most relevant, but it was just one that I was able to find on your GIS site. I can go ahead and add those. And those lines will pop up, but they're a little hard to see since they're in black, kind of aligning with the other borders. I can go ahead and adjust those to another color so that they pop out a little bit more. And then additionally here, I can If I want to identify a particular high school district, I would be able to do that as well. So just go ahead and click on that one. And again, I can assign all of the geographies within there to my district. Over here, you can adjust the base map. So this will offer a number of different options for you. So you can use sort of this more minimalistic one. You can utilize imagery or just go back to the default streets map. Under themes, you can come and see some different demographic variables. So once I click on this, I'm now able to see the population for each of those geographic areas. All right, for the sake of time, I've gone ahead and create a nearly perfect or balanced plan of Baltimore, Baltimore County, just to show some of the different demographic analysis features. So I've got the plan histogram here, which essentially allows me to see the breakdown of a particular demographic group across all of my districts. We've got a similar piece of functionality over here, just in a pie chart format. And then this district distribution. Let me go ahead and add the proper demographic categories. This shows a breakdown of the demographics in each district. You also have the ability to look at the compactness of each of your districts according to some tests that have been put out by the DOJ. And if you need a brief description of what each of them are, you can go ahead and hover over the name and it'll just give you a brief overview. This is also super helpful because it shows if there are any holes. So if there's any parts of the district that are discontiguous or just have not been assigned yet, those will pop up on here. Before you go ahead and submit the plan, you'll probably want to check and make sure that it adheres to all the quality tests. So the integrity test will do that real quick for you. And if you have any errors like I do here, you can just go ahead and zoom to that location and I can go ahead and fix that. You'll see here I've got two parts of my district that are, or one part of my district that's discontiguous from the larger one. So I'll just go ahead and fix that. And then once I close out of that window, it will run the integrity test again, just to make sure I've gotten everything. So all 7 of those green check marks are done and I am good to submit my plan when I'm ready. I can also run a number of reports. So I've chosen just a few out of them, but as you see here, we have a number of them available. So one of them over here, this is the voting age population summary. So this just gives an overview of how many people of voting age live in each district and the proportion that live in District 1 versus District 2 in this case. Over here, we have the all district summary report, and this essentially just gives a demographic breakdown, both with raw numbers and percentages of each of your districts. Under the assigned district splits, this shows the percentage of each location that is assigned to each district. So I can see how many people in a particular city are assigned to District 1 and how many people in that city are assigned to District 2. And then the last one that I'll go over real quick is the meets and bounds reports. And this essentially is a very legalese-esque document that sort of runs through the different boundaries by their geographic names to make sure that this can be input into the record of law as needed. If you have plans that you'd like to compare to one another, you can go ahead and do so using this compare plan button. So I'll just pull this one up right here. And then essentially this hatch symbology allows me to see the difference between the two plans. So I can see which have been assigned to different districts. And then if I would like to, there is a specific report that kind of gives an overview of the geography and the demographics of each of these areas. Under the Share tab, we have the ability to attach files. So if you have maybe a Word document that you'd like to put in here explaining maybe why you chose to put particular areas in a certain district, you can use that functionality to do so. Under the Information tab, this is where you can go ahead and adjust the plan name, plan description, list your organization, state, year, and then any analysis that you've done. Under the comments, I can go ahead and leave a comment for either myself or another colleague. And then it'll capture the date and, of course, the user who left it. I also have the ability to see the access logs. So if someone has come in to view my plan, I can see that over here, as well as if they've made any changes to the plan. If I would like to share my plan with the group, I can do so here. I would also go ahead and create a group first. And then I would go ahead and just share the plan out to my group. And then I can either give them the ability to only look at the plan, or if I want them to be able to make changes to the plan as well, I can give them read write functionality too. Under Edit Profile, this is where I'd be able to adjust my name, email address, and then change my password if I'd like. And the final step is submitting your plan. So once you go to submit your plan, you'll be run through those 7 integrity tests that I was showing before, just to again make sure that your plan is in accordance with all of the rules of essentially redistricting. Once I go ahead and hit OK, this is where I'd be able to enter any more information about myself or my plan that I would like the committee to know. And then once I go ahead and submit, I'll get this note and I'll hit OK. And this will go to a folder that essentially contains all of the submitted plans that can be accessed by administrators or anyone who's granted access to the folder so that they can be reviewed and compared to one another. So that's it for the demo. If there's any questions, Scott and I would be happy to help answer any of them as they come up.
Yes, I have a question. My question is, we have some submitted before us, various plans of that various groups have submitted, and I just want to know, is there any way that those plans could be placed inside so that we can actually see as a group?
I'm sorry, I'm having a little tough time hearing you. Scott, I don't know if you were able to hear that one.
I had a little bit of trouble myself. It wasn't coming across clearly.
All right, let me repeat myself.
Okay, sorry.
We have plans already submitted by various groups, and I just want to know whether or not we can place those plans inside of this software, and so that we can modify or change or just look at more clearly.
Yep. So if they, well, I suppose it depends on the format, I should say, that they were submitted in. But as long as they're in some sort of like GIS friendly sort of format that can be converted to a shapefile, which again, the GIS team could help with, then there shouldn't be a problem bringing those in so that you can look at them and compare them on the application.
Right. Yeah, more than likely they've got a standard format that will work.
Well, I'm not sure that they actually sent it to us in a GIS format. I think most of them was just plain.
I think, I can address, we did. We've had this, we've shared the same concern that you just indicated. And so we will try to get the file, the shape file, or whatever the appropriate file would be so that we can utilize this to basically reproduce their map so you can do exactly what you just said. So that's a great question, and I think we should be able to do it based on what the demo indicated, especially when McKinsey mentioned the shape file and being able to put one in and basically spit out a map. That's what we're aiming to do.
I have a question. This is Cordell Grant. In regards, and I was some audio issues, so if I'm asking a question that you already answered, forgive me. But regarding the data that is related to each of these districts, how accurate is the data in terms of demographics?
Rob, do you want to take that one, or do you want me to?
Well, we've got the standard set of census data comes with the redistricting solution. And Mackenzie, would you mind sharing your screen again to kind of show the set of demographics that we have? Would you be able to share that?
Yep. Sorry, it took me a second to pull that
Oh,
up.
that's okay. There we go. Can you see those okay?
Probably not.
Oh,
We probably can't see him as well because it's on the TV a little bit of a distance away, but
okay.
I mean, that's a little better. We can kind of see it a little better, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
We've got the standard set of demographics that are included with the.
You stated that, and to be clear, you stated that this was from the 2020 census?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And Cordell, that was for the purpose of the demo.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yep. So working with the council, the planning department, Jen Meacham, our chief demographer, Christine and Emily, we're gathering all the latest census data sets, so like the 22 adjusted census, the ACS American Community Survey. Esri, with this solution, when we have it in-house, configures it with whatever data layers we need and require. So we'll build in the package, the 2022 census data, all the American Community Survey data.
All right, so let's get in there.
Yep. So and then we'll verify that list and share that data list.
I appreciate you.
Yep.
Can I just follow up on that? When do we expect to have access to not just this software, but all of the accurate data or the most up-to-date data so we can get started doing our map charts?
That's an important question, right?
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up the contracting with Esri. That is going through final legal review today and tomorrow. The money's been encumbered. We're ready to move forward. So we would expect within 2 weeks to be moving through it. Scott might tell me a little bit different, but the software will be out there.
I also wanted to just expound a little bit on what Cordell said. For the purposes of the apportionment in terms of the population breakdowns, we'll be using the 2020 census data. But for the purpose of demographic distribution and looking at the latest trends, certainly you'll be looking at the most recent data we have available that Rob just mentioned about, the ACS and the 2022 adjusted. So you'll be able to use that data in your decision making, but keep in mind that ultimately in terms of population, it'll still have to jibe with making sure that the numbers all add up properly. To the 2020.
Even if the 2020 does not represent 2025. I get it.
Yeah.
It's every 10 years.
Right.
What does that look like in terms of making sure,
Yeah.
it's accurate? It's a lot of movement happening, especially right now.
Right. So I think it's going to be sort of threading the needle a little bit of, okay, the numbers are this for 2020, but some of the demographic trends are showing a little differently, and so we'll have to try to massage that, and I mean that in the most above board way, to make sure that you're getting what you're wanting to get in terms of the demographics, but that it also fits in the numbers. So I think that's just going to be part of the exercise. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions on the presentation or? Okay.
There was a lot of audio and visual tech challenges. Can we get a summary of this project?
Well, that's actually exactly what I was about to talk about.
Thank you.
We realized that, this was not interactive, it's just a demo. So in order to actually get you, from this point to being proficient with this software, we're going to try and we're going to offer you the chance to do some one-on-one, or if you really think it's necessary, one-on-one with myself and a member of the GIS team. The idea is that you would bring your own laptop, so we'd work with you on the device you're comfortable with, and we'd actually go through some of the exercises that Mackenzie just walked through. We'd do it together so that you actually have the practice of, clicking around this application and doing the different tasks to actually create a map. My hope is that we can do two-on-one, where you guys buddy up with one other person, and maybe since it would be only 2 members, I think scheduling might be easier. It might also be easier if, for some of you, if you wanted to schedule it during the day, set aside an hour and we could, try and do that. But I'm going to send an email after tonight's meeting, laying that out a little bit better for you, so that we can, get from this point to the point where you actually are comfortable making a draft map.
Again, Adam, we still have to wait at least 2 weeks.
At least, yes. Any other questions on the presentation? Okay. Well, I want to thank Mackenzie and Scott for their demonstration and their hard work on getting this up and running. So I think we'll say goodbye to you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Nice to meet y'all. Best of luck.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
And Chris, you want to pull up the slide? So I just want to quickly review the meetings that we've already scheduled. We do have 3 meetings in March. Thursday, March 6th, Wednesday, March 19th, and Tuesday, March 25th. The March 6th meeting, our plan is to have a presentation from Rui Lavoie, our county elections director, about how redistricting impacts her work with the county board of elections. And on the March 19th meeting, we have planned a presentation from the vice president of the DC office of the Brennan Center for Justice, Dr. Kareem Creighton. He is an expert on voting rights and redistricting. So he's going to come and give a presentation on Voting Rights Act compliance and legal requirements for redistricting. And as we've kind of already discussed, the meeting on the 25th is purely for the purpose of getting a draft map ready for the April public hearing, which brings me to an unfortunate typo. When we originally set The second public hearing, we set the date as Wednesday, April 2nd. Unfortunately, I had a typo in the press release and put it as Thursday, April 3rd. I want to apologize for that. We have issued a corrected press release, which you all have a copy of, and we're planning to also send that to the council members so that they're, any newsletters that they send out will hopefully get the corrected notice out there. We still have over a month, so I think we've caught this in time to avoid some confusion. I know there's already been some, but I just want to state very clearly, public hearing number 2 is going to be on Wednesday, April 2nd at the Perry Hall Library. On that topic, I think there was maybe some comments from members about that.
I did want to hop in, but there's also been some new information that's come out tonight. And I hate to throw a wrench in our plans, but I have concerns about the fact that we aren't going to have access to this software and all the relevant data for another 2.5 weeks. And this is not at all the fault of anyone here. It's the tight timeline that we're working on. I hate to throw a wrench in this, but it is so important that this work be transparent, that we have the opportunity to be thoughtful in the work that we put forward. This draft map is going to be deeply important to the community and our trust as a commission, right? And if we only have a week and a half to pull that together before we reveal it to the public, I personally have deep concerns about that. Now, moving on to that next point, when we do finally release a draft map, personally, I believe that we need to open up the opportunity for the entire county to be able to provide feedback. I know an idea has been floated, and I personally think it's a good one, that we open up a all virtual countywide meeting. I think that that would be a great opportunity from anyone, whether it's the east side, central part of the county, or the west side, to come in and provide feedback on that draft map. And I think it's important that we do that before we meet in a specific area of the county. So those are just my thoughts, but we may need to take some of the timeline, have some conversations more about this timeline, because I personally have deep concerns about only having a week and a half to pull this together before we present it to the public.
I concur. I think that, and thank you for sharing that, I think that is a big concern for me as well. We have a week and a half and we have to deal with the software, make sure the data is accurate, making sure when we present this to the public that these individuals who live in the county and paying taxes, that their voices are heard, and that we are making sure that we are doing the job of the people and the will of the people. So I too agree. And I agree, I think that's a really good idea about having a county-wide session, because if this is the first time we're going to display this map, everyone has a vested interest. And so we don't want to isolate anyone from young to younger, right? And I think that that is a big concern of mine, making sure everyone has a voice. A big part of our public hearing last time was everyone wants to have their voice heard. Now I get it, there is a certain amount of voices. However, this is people's livelihoods, and so I don't want to make a decision without making sure that they're okay.
Now, I'm in agreement with everything that was said thus far, but also at the same token, I feel as though as we move forward as a body, we have already established our plans or goals. We should not allow any organization or anyone to actually come in because of their persuasion just to have change our plans. You elected us, we're here to sit down and do the job that you elected us to do. Well, I'm not going to say the citizens elected us, but the councilmen elected us to be here. So let us do our job before we start finding fault. And that's where I am now, because I I'm listening to all the various groups, and I'm reading the various emails. And I'm saying to myself, you haven't given us time to even begin our work. But yet there's all this criticism. So let us do our job first. We may have to add more days onto this committee or a couple of more weeks to this committee. But we got to first, we as a committee got to get to work. And we haven't done that yet. We met, yes, but work, no.
I would like us to, I don't know what the proper forum is, because I know that these thoughts have maybe thrown a wrench in the well-organized plans that the staff has worked very hard to pull together. I do feel like we need to revisit these dates, and I do feel like we do need to push the work back. I don't know if we're prepared to do that deep dive tonight. We have another meeting coming up March 6th. If it sounds like we have time, if we come prepared March 6th as a group, to maybe look at our calendars and figure out a plan forward for how we can maybe push some of this work back. Does that sound, I would love to just get the thoughts of the commission on that.
And Lisa, I agree with you, because I don't think we should do it tonight, because we possibly have a member that's not part of us yet. So it's real important that she's part of it. Michelle. So it's easy to remember. My wife's name's Michelle.
So I think what I'm hearing is that for right now, you're comfortable making the decision to scrap the public hearing number 2 on April 2nd, just scrap that event completely and schedule, look at rescheduling at the meeting on the 6th.
Or do you want to keep things as they are, and when we get to the March 6th meeting, see where things are? I guess those are the two options.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I agree with you, Tom.
Okay. Well, it's not up to me, so it's up to you. But
Now, I think it's a good idea, because I know on that, switching that date back to Wednesday, we had a lot of conflicts with community associations. The Essex Middle River Civic Council meets at night, so they were going to have to do a lot of last minute adjusting. So that would help on that realm, but I agree, if we're not going to get that map or get the software, we're not ready yet. We haven't done, like you said, the work that needs to be done. We did meet, but we didn't do the work.
Just one more point of clarity, because I know procurement can be a beast. We mentioned at least 2 weeks. What is the reality of, because we are going to go home, we're going to start planning and getting ourselves ready for the March 6th meeting and devising how we're going to move forward. It would be a shame if we did that work and then another wrench was thrown into the mix. So just wanted to get a realistic outlook on how we think the procurement's going.
So the only holdup right now is just signing off on the final contract. Scott Ferguson, who was on the call tonight, is the one who is running the resources to build the software solution for us. So their solution exists. They have to add all of our data in and move it. We have the server environment built. We have the IT infrastructure all in place. We're just waiting for the ink on the contract. The vendor Esri is the worldwide leader in GIS. They are the #1 redistricting GIS solution out there.
Okay.
We have everybody at Esri engaged to get this done for Baltimore County.
That's great. So it sounds like we're on track within 2 weeks, and we should feel comfortable by our March 6th meeting putting together an adjusted timeline. Can I just request of you, if you email us either on the 4th or the 5th to give us an update on where we're at, if we do think the procurement's still moving forward in a timely manner, just so we can, whatever we put forward next for the public, we don't have to go back and adjust that again. Of course. Thank you.
One, I tend to agree, about the point about a week and a half is not a lot of time, especially since, you would want to have something for the public hearing. I totally understand that. One knock-on effect will be that you may be doing a public hearing in May, right around spring break, or, it's just something to consider, that pushing out the timeline does, mean closer or in May for a public hearing. It's not impossible. It's just something to think about.
We're going to get this done quick. If we have anything to do with it, I'll walk the contract down myself if I have to.
Love it. Thank you, Tom.
Honestly, I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, thank you. We really do appreciate all the work of you guys. We know that we are all volunteers, we all have day jobs, and we know that you guys do as well. And we know that everyone is working overtime right now to try and get this work done and get it done right. So thank you.
But not to put too much of a point on it, but that's why we need to get this done, because we know you all are volunteers, you have day jobs, you have lives, so we can't just be kind of sitting around. So believe me, it's not so much for my benefit as it is for yours, because you deserve that.
So my team has been in my ear, and we're willing and would like to know if you would like us to at least stand up a web-based map with all of the data sets that are going to be used in the solution, so you can at least start looking at them. Okay. Okay. We will do that.
And if there's any data sets that you specifically want, let us know. It's most likely in our curated list, but if there's any particular one, we'll get it ready.
Okay. All right. That we can have out very quick. You bet. All right.
Thanks, Ron.
Well, the next item was intended to be scheduling of April dates, but given the conversation we've had, I wonder if the group would prefer coming to the March 6th meeting ready to schedule all of April, rather than trying to do it now.
I think we will be more in tune to what we want to see in March. In April.
Yeah.
But yes, I think what you just suggested, we come on March 6th and do what we can.
Okay. I think that sounds like a plan.
Okay, the one last question. Do you want us to leave the current dates in place until you reconvene on March 6th, and then you can have a better idea of what to do with those dates, including the April 2nd date? I understand that it may fall out, but so we're not sort of zigzagging. Do you want to leave that in for now or not, and decide on the 6th?
Yeah, I think to leave it until we meet next.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
We can leave it tentative. That we use this calendar purposes, so we want to discuss, and once we make that decision with our last member, Commissioner, then we can move forward.
I'm going to add something else for the commission here. We really need to consider, if things start getting close and it gets backed up, we may need to do 2 meetings in 1 week. I just want to let everyone know, we're here to do the job. So if even if we've got to change some scheduling hours around or what, we need to be prepared for that needs to be done.
Yep.
And the other related to that is keep in mind a couple of things. One, this is only your 3rd meeting. Even though it's February 25th, this is your 3rd public meeting. You've already had a public hearing. So while the actual mapping work hasn't been done yet, you know, pat yourselves a little bit on the back that, you know, things are moving. And you are going to have some, I think, helpful training as well with the Board of Elections, and in particular, Dr. Creighton with the Brennan Center regarding the Voting Rights Act and other legal requirements. So I think those things will be really time well spent. That's my 2 cents. And then I think once the software and once all the I's are dotted, T's crossed, promises made, gifts exchanged, once all that's done, I think you're going to be able to move fairly quickly. You know, once you get it and you start just playing with it, and we can help you, like Adam said, the one-on-one or one-on-two, I think you'll then be able to start using it and creating maps, and you may start creating more maps than you know what to do with. But I think that'll go fairly fast. That's just my sense from past experience. But I think you'll have time. It'll have to be mostly on your own, but you'll have, you know, if you get tired of Netflix and Hulu, you can just spend one evening mapping.
Well, I think we've reached the point of open discussions, generalized questions. If anyone has any comments, maybe about, you know, the public hearing we just had, if there was any questions.
I do have one question, and I haven't been able to find it yet. This mapping that they're talking about, this ACLU map, I still don't know where to find it.
It was, it was one of the attachments to the email I sent on the last week. Yeah, the day after the hearing.
Well, we can resend it.
Yeah, we can resend it.
So far it seems like we have the map that is kind of existing, that exhibit to Bill 4724. So that map is out there. We can certainly send a PDF to you of that. There is the ACLU map that we also have the PDF to. Those are, to my knowledge, the two maps that are like kind of out there. There was a reference, and I don't know if we actually had the map itself, but there was a reference to the Woodlawn map that several people testified or referenced at the public hearing. To the extent we can get that map, we'll get that to you as well. We have actually asked the ACLU for their shape file, so we can reproduce that map in a way that you all can look at it and hopefully use, if you want to make changes. I think you alluded to that. So you can look at it and make changes to it if you like. So we're in the process of doing that.
Yeah, I have the Woodlawn map, but
okay.
I didn't have the ACLU map.
Do you want a physical copy? Because we can, if you wait a couple minutes after the meeting, I just print it off for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't do that anymore. No.
I was going to add, relative to the Woodlawn map, the email that we received from Keith Dorsey had one map attached to it, and after the hearing last week, there was another version of the same thing, but only it was the same map, but it was a little clearer to read from my perspective. That was at the back table back there. So I'll bring that and give you a copy of that the next time we meet.
So speaking of the Woodlawn approach, Woodlawn map or model, not sure what the appropriate name is, but Mr. Dorsey, when he submitted the written testimony on February 14th, it included an image of the map, a hand-drawn image, but it also included spreadsheets outlining all of the precinct allocations, which precincts go in which council district. And his map only split 2 precincts, and basically he gave the census blocks for each one of those splits. So he actually made it fairly easy for us to digitally recreate that map, which we already have done. So we have a shapefile for that map. So it's going to be available in the same exact format as the ACLU map. Okay, final thoughts before we adjourn? Okay. I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
Go ahead, Chair.
Yeah. All right. Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming out.